How many in this room are in the medical field or medical related? Not bad. I was expecting 3. So how many of you are in the patent and the IP protection, intellectual property protection field? So the innovations basically, as you know, innovation could happen either incrementally. You know, you take the iPhone 4, make it 6 and 7 and 10 and 11, whatever now, 14, or it's going to be disruptive, just like could be the AI. And you know, disruptive meaning that it will make other pre-existing technologies obsolete. So, but I'm here to say that there's no innovation, no technology, no new product is worth anything if it does not create value. What is the value? Now, the value, is it the price of the car? You know, is it like basically the price of your product that you're selling? No. If you do the consumer reports, you find sometimes a $35,000 car has more value or more appreciated than a $150,000 car. You know, so if I go tomorrow to some new trendy, like my kids go to coffee shops and then they pay $15 per, you know, a cup of coffee, does this have more value than more than my $2.18 coffee that I get from the cafeteria at Boston University, Boston Medical Center? So the value is basically, it's not the value of innovation, or the idea is not the value that your product. Now we have to make that distinction between the two of them. So how do we analyze this? Basically, if this is, you know, I don't know if you can see down there, if this is utility and how valuable the quality of the product, and if this is the cost, you want to be here. You want to have great quality, but very low cost. Of course, you can buy more expensive coffee with a good value. It's nice, great coffee or nice, great car, but you know, you're paying a lot more than that. So definitely your innovation should not be in that block. And this is how we judge, you know, the quality of your innovation and your idea. So what does that mean, a good idea? What does make your idea valuable? It's basically whether it's unmet need, covers unmet need, improves clinical outcomes in the medical field, or any idea, whether it's, you know, an AI or technology or real estate, you know, or any like that. And it has to save money to the system. Otherwise, you know, it's not going to do this. And what's the TAM? What is the total addressable market? Are you going to sell it? You know, if I invent a screw in the spine, is that going to, you know, sell it to 5 surgeries a year with that technology, or it's going to be 500 surgeries a year in my center? So that's what we need to think about, all of that. So the good old days, this is good. My friend, Dr. Hassan Serhan, and this is Steffi, you know, legends in spine surgery, Dr. Steffi. The old days where you go to put a sketch in, you know, on a piece of napkin, and it's all gone. So this is now, you have to be a lot more structured in terms of how to come up with ideas, document ideas, protect ideas, and this, I'm going to take you through that a little bit. So first of all, you have to know, is this your idea or your company's idea? If I work at Microsoft and I come up with some great algorithm, is this my idea? Who owns that? So before you go further into stuff like that, and keep log of your inventions. Determine your idea patent. Is that idea patentable or not? Can you protect that idea? The patents, you know, is basically when it's the same way when you have a piece of land. You say, this is my border, and everything inside it is mine. Everything outside it is not mine, and the government agrees with me. So my neighbor knows that he cannot or she cannot cross into my land. That's what patents is. So first of all, before you go crazy about idea and starting idea, you know, companies about your new idea, just check. Has anybody, you know, looked at that, or does it have own that parcel of land before you build your house on it? So this is very important. And of course, you know, you have to, when you talk to people, you have to disclose ideas. So disclose your idea under mutual NDA. So when you have an idea now, you're going to start, I have an investor, great investor here, Emil. He believes in me. I'm going to go sit down with him. And I said, Emil, listen, I got the best inventions gonna make people fly, no back pain, nothing. Okay, he said, okay, tell me what it is. I tell him, and then he goes, and then go to Khalid Janahi and tell him, hey, Khalid, we have a great idea. Let's go develop it. Screw Tony. So can that happen? But yes, there's a risk of that happening. But I think this is extremely important that you should do that, because discussing ideas with people, that makes you crystallize your idea better. It makes your idea clear in your mind. But also, you get their criticism. They tell you, no, doctor. I mean, it doesn't work that way. We've done some research and blah, blah, blah. Probably, this has been tried before. It's not going to work. There's a friction here. There's erosion. There is a, fatigue, metal fatigue, whatever might be your idea could be. Okay, so and that feedback you get from those parties, that make you to crystallize, and your idea makes your idea better. Yes, there is a risk of. That's why I said it has to be mutual NDA. So the company that you're talking to, they're going to tell you, okay, give us your idea. We disclose it to them, but they have to disclose to you their products, their project they're working on. So you know what they are working on, but at the same time that you tell them your idea. So that's a mutual NDA, non-disclosure agreement. A good patent search, and you do patent search, I'm not going to go too much into this, but basically there are so many ways how to check the patents. Now there's a Google patent. You just go to Google patents, and then every patent in the world, if it does, if somebody wrote about it. There was a joke about it, is that if you think your idea is unique, that means you do not know how to read German. That was a joke, because that means the Germans probably went ahead of you with that idea. So that's we'll go from there. So there are two kind of patents. The provisional, that gives you 1 year. It's non-examinable. It's not examinable. Basically, you say, this is my land here, and nobody's going to come and argue with you on that. And that gives you 1 year time to go and talk to people around you and tell them, hey, I have this idea, and then they're going to give you their feedback and their criticism. That gives you 1 year of mating and speed dating with other people. But also, once you like it, you can develop non-provisional. The cost is definitely a lot different. $150 you can do the non-provisional. You don't need the examiner to give you the answer for it. But also, the non-provisional is a lot more expensive. 10 to 20,000, sometimes goes 60,000 and so on, depending if you're going to go EU mark or something like that, Europe or not. So the medical innovations, I'm not going to touch too much. You have the medical devices. Believe it or not, AI can be great, software could be great, algorithms can be great, but you're still going to need screws in your back. You're going to still need the total knee replacements. You're going to need that prosthesis in your back. So that's what I said, medical devices. Pharma development, I am on the board of a drug, immune oncology point. It's amazing, like we're talking about, there was a question about how the AI can shorten the time frame. And once you do the drug optimization, you have a billion different possibilities. How to sort each combination of your drug with each other. That's what the AI does a miracle for the pharma development. I agree with both previously. So this is basically every innovation go through. It's going to go through some of that scheme. Some of them are more heavy to the right. Some of them are more heavy to the left, depending on what you're working on. Okay, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this. You go through design, development, verification, and validation of your ideas, and so on. So go to the digital tsunami. Now, there's no AI without digital input. So we are in the age of digital tsunami. So if you look here, up to 2003, every data has been written. It's equal to 5 EB, which is exact byte. Okay, don't ask me what it is, but it's something like that. And now, in 1 year, 2013, it's multiple folds of that, and then 2020 is 44 zettabyte. So every year we're collecting a lot of data. So how does that data is going to help us? Data basically, and this is in the healthcare, you can see how a lot of data being consumed in healthcare, and I agree with both other speakers. And basically, how can we sort that? Okay, so give or take, depending on what kind of spinal procedure. I'm a spine surgeon, so I put slide on spine surgeries. They said, 50% more or less, you have successful depending what procedure you're doing. Some of them are 80%, some of them are 70%, some of them are 20%, and so on. So now, when you have a lot of data points and AI, that computer is going to tell you the same way it detected what the best drug to, even without the human interaction, the AI can be helpful here. Can tell you that, yes, this procedure can help for this patient and this profile and this kind of X-ray and this kind of instability for this kind of symptoms. So that's the AI. Yes, it can help you big time. So how do we get that? By being smart. Smart is mean not here smart, but having the wearables, and the wearables now are everywhere, in your ankle, in your toe, in your hand, and so on. And and your shoulder. So we know the patients when home, even after surgery, how fast they're moving their shoulder at night when they're sleeping. When they come the next day, they tell us, I couldn't sleep all night last night because of my shoulder pain because I want to take 1 week off work. We tell them, no, you were sleeping perfectly well. You did not move your shoulder at all last night. And we can tell the patient that. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to skip quickly through that. So this basically is all about how much we collect data. So what, if I have an idea, what should I do? You can go through university, you can go through small companies, you can go through bigger companies with that. So I'm going to skip through that. So I'm going to give you a tale of two personal projects that I wasn't personally involved with. It's a Viper system. This is a system how we do minimally invasive spine surgery in the back. And this is my patent and my innovation. So that was definitely unmet need. There was definitely novel, radical concept. Rather than opening the back wide open, now you can make small, tiny incisions. You don't have to open the back. And definitely large market. The total addressable market is huge, right? $3 billion, $3 billion annually. So this patient, let's say, take this patient, that 8 weeks after he has a cancer full in the spine, 8 weeks later he's walking and he's very comfortable. So that created a value for the patient. There's a different project here I was involved with. This is how to get to the spine from the side. So I spoke with the same company actually who marketed my other product, and I said I'm going to go from the front, like that, oblique. And the company, no, we're going to go from this side. Why from the side? Because there was another company who was going from the side and they want to stop the hemorrhage. He said, Tony, we need to stop the hemorrhage. We need to kind of do another Me Too product so we compete against that company, right? And I told him, but you guys, you're looking behind. Fast forward, that product did not work, very minimal sales. And the competitor company took that idea and they did what we call OLIF now, and this is the fastest growing spinal procedure now as we do it. So this is basically how to act in our ideas and to be stubborn with your ideas. And, sometimes it works, sometimes it does not work. And I hope I was not too boring after this great AI talks. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Tannoury, to show us how to patent an idea and how to bring it to life, namely in the work that you've done with spinal surgery and your expertise. Any questions from the audience for Dr. Tannoury?
That was very clear.
Emil, now's your chance.
One of the biggest challenges we have in the U.S. is regulation.
Yeah.
And other places in the world that are competing with us as a country don't have the same level of regulation. How do we make sure we balance the purpose of regulation with the fact that we're not going to start over time falling behind other countries in all of this field?
We already do it. Like regulation meaning protecting your ideas, or regulatory like FDA
regulatory? No, I'm talking about not protecting you at all.
FDA,
yes, yeah, creating bureaucracy.
Yes, so that's why I am actually, like, I give you an example. I'm involved in an eye company now. I'm a seed investor, but I don't know anything about the eye surgeries. But where are we doing our initial studies? In Australia. Yep. Because, we cannot do it here for too many regulations. A regulation is good and bad, right? So yes, you want to protect, you don't want to take, you don't want to be cowboy, you don't want to be cavalier, you don't want to start bringing medicine or procedure and then 20 years later to find that it's causing cancer or causing, problems, they're causing blindness and stuff like that. But at the same time, that regulation kind of it makes you second in line or third in line. So that's why we see actually a lot of spine surgery development is done in Europe. You know, a lot of it in France, in UK, in Italy, because there they have a little bit more freedom. Now, actually, they got a little better because the EU CE market has become a lot more stricter compared to like maybe 10 years ago. So before they were like, you know, like a cowboy land. So you have an idea, you can test it in France afterwards to bring it here, but we're already second in line, right? So as you know, for innovation, either you are first in line or great second in line. So you have to be one of these two. Otherwise, you lose.